What's up, beautiful people? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, aka the Dynamite Natural. I make natural hair and girl talk videos, so if you love this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe down below and also turn on your post notifications to all so that you can be notified each and every single time I post a new video. Okay, so on today's girl talk, we're going to be talking about how to smell good on your period. Okay, menstruation or period is a natural process, but many women feel or get self-conscious, or many ladies get self-conscious on how to smell good or how to maintain proper hygiene on their period. Now, most women suffer from three types of odors. There's the rotten smell, the fishy smell, and the metallic smell. Now, this can happen at any point in time in the menstrual cycle, but it is much more pronounced during your period. Now let's get to the first one, the rotten smell. This smell comes as your period starts, which marks the shedding of the uterine wall. However, if you smell it while you're sitting or walking or doing anything, then it calls for concern. The intense odor is usually associated with not changing your menstrual cup, your pad, or your tampon as regularly as you should. Okay, period winds down, you tend to leave the cup or the tampon or the pad in there for too long because you feel probably my period is light or something, and you don't want to, and you don't feel that you should change it as often as you should. That is the major cause of this kind of smell during your menstruation, during your period, because you leave it there for too long and then it dries and decays and has that pungent rotten smell that is there. Now, how to prevent it? The first one is change your tampon or dump your cup regularly, even when your period is light. Do not leave it in there. Don't say, oh my god, okay, it's light or something, so you don't think that you should. Change it as often as you should, whether your period is light or not. And the next one is treat the end of your period like the rest of your period. Okay, on day one it's usually very heavy. Towards the ending, I know it's lighter, but you want to treat it the same way. Okay, change your whatever you're using as often as you should, and don't leave pads and tampons or cups for extended periods of time just because you're bleeding less. If your VJ is too dry for you to change your tampons regularly, then use smaller sizes of tampons. If you're using a cup and the cup doesn't slide in as easily, then you can simply wet the cup, or you can use a lubricant. Now, the next type of smell is the metallic smell. Now, this smell is normal during period because blood is iron laden, so it's natural for it to smell that way, especially if you let it dry. So the side note is women lose a lot of iron during their monthly period, so be sure to replenish those lost iron with your fruits and your vegetables. Okay, towards the end of your period, the metallic odor is also caused by pH changes in the vagina and discharge containing that different pH. Now, the walls of your VJ, changes pH during your period. Okay, and this change in pH is contained in the discharge that your VJ also has. Now, it is common with tampons because with tampons you leave it in, so the pH soaks onto the tampons. It's like your shoes get wet and stuff like that. Your shoes get wet and your socks get wet, right? And then you leave it in there for the whole day and you come back and take out the socks. Even if you change into some new socks and put your leg when you've worn the socks into the same shoe, it's still going to have the same smell, right? So until the shoe is no longer wet. So it's exactly the same thing. So like I said, it's common with tampons because with tampons the period doesn't flow out, it soaks into the tampons and sits against the walls of the VJ. So that kind of thing. So here's how to prevent it. Change your pad or your tampon or dump your cup very frequently. If you're going to be wearing tampons and you notice that you have this type of smell, then make sure that you change your cups, you change your tampons very frequently. Avoid tight pants or tight underwears at this point, especially towards the end of your period. And wear cotton underwear towards the end of your period or during your period, because it's cotton is breathable. That is the point in time that your VJ needs to breathe. So make sure that you wear cotton during your period because cotton is a breathable material. And if you've noticed that even when you're doing all these things it's still not working, then you might want to consider switching to a pad or a menstrual cup because it enables the blood to flow out instead of letting it sit in the tampon. Because when you put in the tampons just sit in there, and this new type of pH just soaks against the tampons and the walls of the vagina. It doesn't flow out, so it just sits there and just has that smell. But if you use a pad or a menstrual cup, what happens is that it's going to flow out. It's going to flow out instead of sitting there to soak against the walls. Okay, so if you notice this kind of thing and probably you've tried to change your tampons frequently and it's still happening, then try switching to a menstrual cup or a pad, right? The next type is a fishy smell. Now this smell is common but not necessarily healthy or normal. It is if you have a persistent fishy odor, then you may be suffering from bacterial vaginosis or trichomoniasis. Now BV, that's the bacterial vaginosis, is caused by sexual activity with or without a condom. It may be STD related, it may not be, okay? So but usually sometimes it's caused by sexual activity with or without a condom, and also the disruption in the flora of your VJ. Now it could, like I said, it could be sexual, it could not be. Now if you are fond of using soaps like washing the inside of your VJ, this is a common cause. This is the reason, because those soaps will go in there and disrupt the pH, disrupts the flora of your VJ. So that is the common cause. Another one, the other one that I said is the trichomoniasis. That one is an STD, is caused by by sexual relations. Now BV, like I said, BV forms because of bad bacterial growth. You may smell more fishy as you bleed because the bad bacterial growth will mix with your period, as it flows out. Now for the trichomoniasis, it's an STD caused by sexual activity without a condom. It's best to be treated by a doctor for this STD at the time that you're having it. It's best to be treated by the doctor. If you think that's what you have, you go to the doctor, and at that point in time that you're getting treated, you want to abstain from any sexual activity at the time. Now as with BV, you may smell more fishy as you bleed. End of the period, without the heavy flow, the fishy odor may be more prominent as the VJ produces more discharge. So at the end of your period, you may notice that the fishy smell becomes more prominent. Okay, so you want to, if it's trichomoniasis and you're sure that that is what it is, get treated by a doctor. Okay, now how to prevent this fishy smell? Do not use soaps. Like that's the very first step. Do not use soaps inside your VJ. That's inside. Now if you do not understand how the female body is, usually it's the VJ is inside, and then you have the external area where you can see that side is called the vulva. Now inside your VJ, do not put soap in there, do not douche ever, don't do that. Okay, you could wash the external area with whatever feminine wash or unscented wash that you want to use, but if it's the inside, do not douche ever. That's one of the common causes. Okay, so you can, like I said, you can wash the external area with whatever soap of your choice or wash of your choice. That side is called the vulva, but inside there, don't do it. Okay, the inside of your vagina is self-cleansing. Okay, it's self-cleansing, so going in there with all the other types of washes will just disrupt your pH. Using whatever soaps or washes in there will disrupt the pH or the flora in there and make the odor worse. If the smell is persistent even when you have tried your best, then please see a doctor. Now I'm going to give you some other tips too that is going to help you stay smelling good on your period. The first one is, or the next one is, never wear a tampon longer than 8 hours. Okay, don't leave it in for longer than 8 hours, and never wear one that has higher absorbency than you need, or else you risk the chance of getting toxic shock syndrome. Now, if you don't know what toxic shock syndrome is, it's a rare serious medical condition caused by Staphylococcus aureus, but it's also most commonly caused by tampons that have higher absorbency than you need. Okay, symptoms range from sudden fever. I'll list out symptoms on the screen. There are a lot, but if you a sudden fever, low blood pressure, headaches, muscle aches, nausea, and even seizures. Okay, so make sure that you use appropriate absorbency of tampons if you're going to be using tampons. Okay, next one is shower daily and maintain your regular hygiene routine. Do not skimp out on your hygiene routine just because you're on your period. In short, that is when it should be more. Okay, so make sure you shower daily, twice a day to be if you want to really go in there, twice a day is the best. Check out this video right here on how to smell good all day. I made a video very detailed on how to smell good all day, so check that out. I think I will leave it in the iCards and also in the description box, so it's going to be very helpful. The next one is keep your underwear fresh by changing it regularly, especially if it is damp with sweat or fluids. Okay, make sure you keep your underwear fresh. Next one is avoid wearing thongs during your period. Please and please, you can wear your thongs, but when it's on your period, make sure you change to a cotton material, because that is the time that your VJ needs to breathe. Okay, so that it doesn't have a bad smell. Now with thongs, it's possible that the thongs can transfer bacteria from your anus to your VJ, so you want to keep that out for the time being that you're having your period, right? Okay, and that's that. And the next one is body odor can intensify during your period because of shift in hormone balance. Body odor can intensify during your period because of shifts in hormone balance or hormonal balance. So you want to make sure that you change your clothes regularly, change your underwears regularly. Next one is if you notice stains on your pillow, not on your pillow, if you notice stains on your clothes or on your sheets, take it out immediately and remove the stains with cold water immediately. If you see the stains immediately and you take it out, it's easier to even go out of your clothes or the sheets. That's if it does not stay and dry in. Okay, so take it out immediately and rinse it with cold water, scrub it with cold water. It's going to go out, and after that you can now use your detergents, your nice smelling detergents, and wash it clean. The next one is body odor, and that of the VJ can intensify during your period due to certain foods that you eat, like especially garlic, coffee, onion. So if you notice that you have a pungent smell during your period, try to eliminate those types of foods during your period until you're actually done. Then you can go back to eating whatever you want to eat. So that's the particular tip. The next tip is, while some others are, normal during your period, there are some that are a clear sign that you have to see the doctor, like the BV or the trichomoniasis I talked about. Now, this is especially if the others come with certain kinds of signs. Now I'm going to list a few of them on the screen. They are yellow or green vaginal fluids, bleeding heavier than normal, stomach or pelvic pain, cramps that are worse than normal, and fever. So that's what I have for you today. I actually hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it was helpful. Which of these tips do you use to maintain your hygiene and keep smelling good during your period? I want to know too. So let me know down there in the description box. Make sure you like this video, and also share this video with your friends, and also subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications to all. It helps me out a lot, and I would love for you to be part of my YouTube family. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that this video was helpful. Follow me on my other social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook, up above. And yeah, there's that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. I love you. Bye.